Australia is one of the happiest, healthiest, and most physically active countries on the entire planet. And yet they still enjoy a good meat pie, they can sink a few beers, and they might even do a few things that would give a personal trainer a heart attack. So after a year and a half of living in Brisbane, Australia, I've been investigating why it's so easy to be healthy here. And I think I may have just found the answer. So today I'm going to walk you through the 8 things that make it stupidly easy to be happy, healthy, and active here in beautiful Australia. Let's go. So number 1, the cities here are designed to move you. Now, I haven't lived in rural Australia yet, but I've spent a lot of time in the cities and they are built to be so walkable, which is so nice to see. Honestly, for the first year of living here, I didn't have a car because I just didn't need one. And while the public transport in Brisbane is great, it's only 50 cents for any trip, whether that's a train to the Gold Coast, a ferry into CBD, even getting on a bus from one side of the city to the other, only 50 cents per fare. But despite that, with Brisbane being a micro city, you can actually walk a huge amount of it very quickly. When I meet up with my mate each week, we'll grab a coffee from somewhere on one side of the city, and before we know it, we're on the other side. And there's all these bridges and gorgeous cycle paths with so much space, and it doesn't feel cramped at all. It's just so refreshing to be in such a walkable place. Now, the UK, as small as it is, sometimes it does feel like you need a car to get around, with public transport being, compared to Australia, very, very expensive. I mean, look at this pavement right now. To me, this is a really wide, spacious pavement, almost something I'd assume to see in America, where things are like big size. But here in Australia, that's just normal. Whereas in the UK, our pavements are super skinny and you've got to awkwardly shuffle past people so you know you don't bump into them or walk on their dog. Not that I would try to. And if you're enjoying this video in any shape or form, consider hitting that subscribe button if you want to. It really helps out. Cheers. Number 2, the cafe replaced the pub. Now in the UK, the default social meeting spot, I would have to say, is the pub. We have a lot of pubs in the UK, and in the last 20 years they've really been commercialized with chains like Wetherspoons, where you can basically get stupidly cheap alcohol, stupidly cheap food that is weirdly really quick and quite yummy. And honestly, I would say that alcohol is baked far more into UK culture than it is in Australian culture. Obviously, Aussies like a good beverage from time to time, but I do think they have a little bit more self-control than us Brits. In the UK, you are sort of encouraged to drink from a very young age. But in Australia, while there are lots of pubs and while people do still like a drink, it does feel like the cafe has become the social norm here, the social hub, the meeting spot. You meet your mates at 8 AM, you get a gorgeous coffee, a lovely plate of food that often has a lot of vegetables on it, sometimes greens. You feel great afterwards. It's much cheaper to eat out, I've personally found, than in the UK. Half the amount I would in the UK for the same sort of brunch outing. And then afterwards you can go for a walk along the river or through the botanical gardens, or, you know, go for a quick run. It's the same friendships. You're still really connecting with your mates and having a good time, but you don't have alcohol there at the forefront. You don't have this constant thought of, oh, I'll get the next round in, oh, I want another pint now, and things like that. Number 3, the sun is so aggressive that it actually makes you a morning person. This one is slightly counterintuitive because in the UK, the sun is a gift. When the sunshine comes out in the summer in the UK, doesn't matter what time of day it is, it doesn't matter how high the UV is. I think, honestly, most Brits don't know what are dangerous UV levels and what are safe UV levels, and Brits will be outside with their tops off. Barbecues in the park, we love those disposable barbecues that are still legal in lots of places, and they will be working on their tan. We don't have the same sun safety culture. In fact, you will often find in supermarkets like SPF 15 or SPF 30 sunscreen, whereas an Aussie would be like, if it's not SPF 50, mate, don't bother. Well, still bother, but you know. Whereas the UV in Brisbane in the morning can get up to like 11 before it's even noon. And by the way, anything over 3, you should generally wear some sort of sun protection. And if you don't know too much about sun safety, that's okay, because nor did I. Honestly, 2 years ago, I was completely oblivious to sun safety. I knew that it was important to wear sunscreen so you didn't get burnt, because that hurts, but I wasn't aware that consistent high UV exposure can cause skin cancer. It can age your skin so ridiculously fast and make your skin look really leathery. And there's often quite a few other negative health effects of, you know, getting too much UV. So AKA really harsh sunlight. And in Australia, it's weird because the UV can be ridiculously high and it will look like a really cloudy grey day. So you're probably thinking, Sam, what do Aussies do then when the UV is ridiculously high, like at 8 AM? Well, they just get up even earlier and they'll go for a run at like 6 a.m, sometimes 5 a.m. And I completely get it. A lot of running clubs here, a lot of park runs, they'll start at around 7 a.m. because any later, the UV is just too high and it's just not good for you. What's the point in working on your cardiovascular system if your skin, your largest organ you have, is just dying? And with this early morning culture, you'll find that the cafes open really early and then they'll shut really early. They'll shut at like 2 p.m, which is unheard of in the UK. Lots of cafes stay open till like 5 p.m, sometimes 8 p.m. It's crazy. Who's drinking coffee at that time? Number 4, the healthcare system actually wants to see you. Now, I grew up on the UK's NHS. I love the NHS, and back in Cheltenham where I'm from, my GP can sometimes see me same day and I get really good care. However, living in other parts of the UK, I have sometimes experienced not the best healthcare, I must say. I'll tell you a story. My best mate from the UK, when we were at uni, he went to the doctors with a horrible flu. He was feeling so rough and he doesn't normally get sick. And when he got to the doctor and explained his symptoms, the doctor said, "You'll be fine. That's a waste of time." Waste of time. But there's 2 parts to this. In Australia, first of all, your employer generally doesn't make you feel bad for calling a sick day. Obviously, I can't speak for all employers and companies, but there's this culture of, if you're sick, actually take a sick day, because Aussies understand, well, that's going to help you heal and recover faster than pushing yourself and also infecting everyone else in the office. The second thing is Aussies don't seem to have this toxic mindset of, oh, I'm sick, I need medical attention, but it's not serious enough to waste doctors' time. I'm not going to do that. In the UK, we do this all the time. We don't like to make a fuss. We'll be really unwell and you'll say to your mum or your friend or something like, just go to the doctor. And they'll be like, nah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And you know, they'll have this like flu for a week or something. You're like, what are you doing? Whereas in Australia, people be like, yeah, go to the doctor, mate. Like it's not, you're not seen as weak to go to the doctor, which is very refreshing, because like these social norms that you grow up with, they really stick with you. There's this thing here called bulk billing, where your GP appointments are free, but sometimes there might not be one available in your area, so you have to pay for the doctor's appointment, and Medicare gives you a partial refund. Basically, they give you some of the money back. And although I do pay a little bit more for it, I have found that the level of care has been sometimes a lot better. Also, thoughts and feelings on the new merch? What do you think? Build your adventure. This thing, I'm not joking, is so soft. You could go on a run or a hike with this and be cozy. You could stay at home, have a bath, put on a bit of telly, and you'd still feel cozy. If you want one, right, or if you know someone who would appreciate one, QR code there, I'll link in the description below. Anyway, moving on. Number 5, sport is a massive deal here. In the UK, while football, soccer, I don't like calling it soccer, while it is a massive deal in the UK, you can kind of get by not being a football fan. People at school will ask you what team you support. You just say whatever you like, really, and people will be like, oh, they're not doing too well right now, are they? Or, oh, they're doing well. You know, like, you can pretty much just get around it if you're a drama person like me. When I came to Australia, I was shocked by how many people are super patriotic to the sport here. There's AFL. There's NRL. A lot of the community will get together on the weekend to go watch local footy games, which is really, really cool. By attending sports matches in your local community, you can go to the footy club and like order a couple of drinks. If you don't drink, get lemon lime bitters. Most gorgeous drink you'll ever try at a pub. And it's just really wholesome to see how sport can bring people together in a really kind and supportive way. But I think one of the most understated things that Aussies have taught me about health is that it is all about balance. Sorry to sound like a cliche. I've got a ginger shot here, homemade. Yes, I have become that guy. A little bit of that. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to eat some Cadbury Easter chocolate. Yummy yum. I must say though, UK chocolate, I'm sorry, still beats Aussie chocolate. It does. It does. I want to be really honest about something for a second. Sometimes I imagine the version of me that never moved to Australia, and I picture him stuck there now, 27 years old. He's drinking too much on Fridays because he thinks that's how he makes mates. He's lonely. I don't think he would be married, and I don't think he would have achieved some of his career goals, relationship goals, and financial goals. I do think that his environment is holding him back. Of course, there is another scenario where, you know, I stayed in the UK and really worked hard despite feeling like sometimes your environment's working against you, and I lived a really good life. So what I'm trying to say is I am so proud to be British. I love my home country, and I'm really looking forward to my next visit. But I do think that for my lifestyle as a whole, Australia has given me so much, and I'm very overwhelmed with gratitude for that. And even my wife has just been like an incredible representation of Australian people. Right, next one, getting a bit soppy now. Number 7, there's a big focus on your body is your responsibility. In Australia, there's this quiet assumption that you are responsible for your body, and if you don't treat it like, you know, like the analogy of you only have one car for the rest of your life, so what are you gonna do? Then what are you doing, mate? I'm not gonna lie, I hardly see anyone smoke here. It's more prominent in the major cities, like when I went to Sydney the other week, there's a lot of smokers, right? But in Brisbane, in the suburbs, you don't see a lot of it, which is really nice because you'd be walking down a UK high street and somebody's like strawberry raspberry vape is getting in your face. Also chatting with my Australian friends and family, they'll be very open about the sort of improvements that they want to make to their mental health and to their physical health. Whereas in the UK, sometimes it feels like you're either judged or mocked for taking on, you know, a health challenge like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, try and cut out sugar for a week, or I'm gonna join my local 5k park run, or I'm even gonna walk for this charity, right? You don't often hear a lot of British people, unless they're, you know, your mum and dad and they're really supportive, go, that's amazing, mate, go on. I love that. Whereas in Australia, it's like, yeah, mate, I think that would be a really good decision. Like, what sort of things are you thinking of doing? And there's just more of an engagement to it. So it's not like there's this huge fitness culture here where everyone's expecting you to do like this triathlon, sign up for an Ironman, you know, run 2 marathons in a month. It's not like that at all. But you can sit down with loved ones. It's okay to talk about your health. Don't brag about it. Don't be overly negative, like, oh, I've got this problem and that problem. If you're saying, oh, I'd love to give swimming a go for a change, you just feel like you're supported, and it's really lovely. It's really nice. Anyway, come on. So number 8, what do I actually think? I'm not saying Australia is the health utopia. We all know it's not, okay? But the structural stuff, the walkability, the cafe culture, the gorgeous mornings with like pink and purple sunrises, if you can be bothered to get up that early. I'm not great at it. You pay a little bit more for healthcare, but the quality is so high. The sport, the affordability of going out for some brunch, all of it stacks on top of each other and builds upon itself until you get this, you know, compounding interest. Speaking from experience, that's why so many Brits move here and are like, wow, I don't recognize myself after a year. I used to think being healthy and having healthy habits was all about willpower. I just have to be more hardy. I have to be more determined. And then after a year and a half living in Australia, it's made me realize that your environment is 80% of it. I would say 80%. Maybe the question isn't, how can I be more disciplined? How can I be more gritty and determined? Maybe it's, do I love the place I live in? Do I love the place I call home right now? I mean, I'm not saying pack up and move to Australia by any means, but questions like that, sometimes they can change your life. I hope this helped, and if you're considering moving to Australia, I actually have a free Move to Australia guide. I'll link it there if you're watching on TV, that's a QR code, or you can scan it in the link in the description below. See you soon. Well, thanks for watching to the end of this video. YouTube thinks you're gonna love this video on screen right now, so go click that. And a huge shout out to everyone who's already grabbed the Build Your Adventure merch. If you are planning to build your own adventure, wherever you are in the world, you want an ultra soft t-shirt that looks very cool as well, there's a link below the description so you can grab yours. Have an amazing one. See you in the next video. Bye.